Why? Because that's your problem. So now that we've gotten some of it, you know, we want everyone to share it and spread it out. Because there's a lot of da'wah out there on the internet. I've been looking recently and seeing there's a lot of stuff, and most of it is junk. When I say that it's junk, it's not that it's not true, some of that stuff. But there's a minhaj, and I keep saying this over and over again. People think I'm talking about minhaj Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. I don't mean that type of minhaj. I mean the minhaj of studying. The order and the way you study is just as important of what you study and in what order you study those things. Knowledge is by degrees. You know, one thing precedes the next thing. You can't tell me that you know what tawheed is if you can't spell it. You don't know what scale it's on. You don't understand the word in its linguistic meaning. Then how can you understand it as a terminology? So it demands a certain level of education in some fundamental issues. Knowledge is naw'an. Knowledge is of two types. Knowledge of the utensils that you need in order to get more knowledge. So when you go to school, the first thing they teach you is they're not teaching you, they're institutionalizing you. They're training you. And after you train someone and they can do it like what just they don't know why they're doing it, then you start to teach them the why and the how. Well, you taught them how already. And then they fall back on their institutionalization. So we want to institutionalize these fundamentals. Reciting the Quran is one of the main and most important fundamentals. You can't do it without Arabic. You can't get it without getting it from a person. I don't care, even if you do watch the videos. You're going to eventually have to sit down with somebody who sat down with the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam by proxy. Do you understand what I mean by that? And they're going to have to say, no, my teacher didn't teach me that way. He didn't let me get away. There is no tasahul. There is no ease and accommodation in the recitation of Quran. No one gets over because it's close. You either get it or you get out. That's it. The teachers don't have that type of room to give you to say, okay, you can recite it like that. It's wahyi. It's from Allah. And it came down in a certain way, and you have to recite it that way or it ain't Quran. Period, point blank. It ain't Quran. That's why it's so dangerous for people to put themselves up to lead the salah and they can't recite the difference between ayn and a. A or a. So they say an'amta or they say alamta. And they change the meaning. You understand? It's very important. It's not something that you should take. You're talking about kalamullah, the speech of Allah. But what if they're ignorant? Then there's some rule for the person who is ignorant, but you're not allowed to be ignorant for such a long period of time. You know? So if you're ignorant because there's no opportunity, but once there becomes an opportunity, you become obligated. Mukallif. You become obligated, right? So I say that because I'm sorry for talking fast, but there's so much I want to get into the lessons. And most of the time when the shuyukh were teaching us, the things that they taught us weren't what we went there for. We wanted the lesson. Give me just the black and white lesson. And they gave us all this ethics. You know? And that when we complained, they said that was the lesson. The other thing is the benefit. You know? The other stuff you get, that's plus. You know? But you came here to learn some ethics, some adab. As they story about the story of the people that studied with Imam Malik. They said we learned everything we needed from him in 2 years. We spent the other 18 years with him learning how to correct our souls. Learning good manners. I'm not saying that I'm like that. You know, I'm not saying that, but I have heard and I can pass it on to people who can do it better than I can. Insha'Allah ta'ala. So, moving right along. Alladhi anqadha dhahrak. Anqadha dhahrak. Alladhi. The word we do. Anqadha. So we're saying anqadha dhahrak. But what we're worrying about here is anqadha. Anqadha. I pronounced it incorrect first. Anqadha. Because it's da, this tital, you know, like that. So that's for the qaf right there. And the next one is, you know, inna anzarnakum adaban qariba. No, I want this one. Fiha kutubun qayyima. Kutubun qayyima. Qayyima. Okay, there's a rule here. Sometimes you see the kasra under the shadda, right? Can you see this? Good on the computer thing? And people think that, okay, let me do this big. Qayyima. You say qayyima. Why is there a kasra under the shadda when we mean a kasra by it? Because the shadda is the rule. If we put it above it, then it's fatha. If we put it under it, it's kasra. Not that we have to put it under here. You understand? You can put it like that, but it's easier to put it right there, and it's acceptable, and that's what you find most of the writers doing. Okay? So just understand that means kasra under the shadda. Okay? Everybody got that? Just again, some added benefit, inshallah ta'ala, liman dabat, for the one who is meticulous. Okay? So it says, kutubun qayyima. And don't mix up your qaf and your kaf. People get this all mixed up all the time. Kaf and qaf are two different letters. Kutubun qayyima. The rule I try to show is this. Let's say this is my mouth. From here to here is my mouth, the inside of my mouth. It's like a valley, or not a valley, the inside of a cave. Okay, a culled out cave is deep and huge, you know, those inside caverns. So in there, if I go up at this angle, that's kaf. Say, kutubun. Now if I go back this way, it's the same angle. Qayyima. I'm going towards the uvulu, the big ball, the boxing ball that's hanging in the back of your throat. You're going towards that. That's for qaf. You're going towards the front at this angle, not outside the mouth, but towards the mouth. Kutubun qayyima. And you're going with the middle of your tongue this way and the middle of your tongue back that way. Kutubun qayyima. You got that? You got to just, you know, grow. You're laughing at me, Ibrahim. Okay. Alhamdulillah. Ain't no problem. You can laugh at me. إِنَّا أَنذَرْنَاكُمْ عَذَابًا قَرِيبًا عَذَابًا قَرِيبًا قَرِيبًا عَذَابًا قَرِيبًا. Remember, don't make the sound that's coming mess up the sound that you came from, and don't let the sound that you came from mess up the sound that you're going to. Meaning, this is a letter, one of the sifat of ba is what? Fath. Ba, fatha, ba. Now, qaf has what? Itbaq. Itbaq. So, qaf, fatha, qa. Adaban qayyima. I mean, adaban qariba. So you don't want to say adhaban, and you don't want to say adhaban qa, you know, because you mess up the sound of the other one. So give each one of them its right. Adhaban qariba. You're going to the noon too fast. Adhaban qariba. Right, you see? If you go to the noon too fast, you hear it, and you're not supposed to hear the noon. You're not supposed to hear the noon so clear, and I don't want to practice it wrong. So anyway, it says seen. The next one is seen. Let me move along. Tansa. Tansa. Here we have again the seen comes after the noon right there. Now we're going to go to the next one. It is min sijil. Min sijil. من سجيل عابدات سائحات. Let me write it for you. عابدات سائحات. عابدات سائحات. No, it's not hat, it's ha. That's ha, not ha. There's a big difference. Saihat. Unclick your fingers. The Prophet ﷺ forbade us from having our fingers clicked up in the masjids, waiting between the salah and anytime hawla salah. And between one salah to the next, you're in salah. عابدات سائحات. So this shows you have to have enough air in your lungs left to put that ha with strength. Okay? You know that. What do we notice? Every time you have a mud, there's a hamza. Don't you notice that? Yes. Don't you notice that? Yes or no? Well, notice it. Every time there's a mad, there's going to be a hamza, most of the time. That's the general rule. If you learn that, you know a whole bunch. Okay? Either that hamza is going to be in the same word, or it's going to be in the next word following it, or that hamza is going to be before the letter of mad. And it's going to be either alif or waw or yeah. Period. Point blank.